Hello, everybody. Scott Golden with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series, August the 20th, 1988 is our episode this time out. We are less than 2.5 months away from ending the series, at least on the WWE Network. I don't think they're going to get the remainder of 88, the last 2 months of 88, or 89 and 90, because I believe those are unowned at the moment in the tape library. There's debate over who owns that footage. It's a complicated thing, but basically with the Jarrett buyout that happens in '88, there is a discrepancy over the footage that goes forward. Bob Bradley versus Stephen Casey opens the contest. Casey does well, arm drags, arm locks, and the like. Takes his opponent down. Bradley backs off. Sad to me that Bradley never really got a clear, concise push in the area in terms of actually going somewhere. Bradley rolls out to the floor. He is dissatisfied with getting kind of gobbled up, for lack of a better term, by Steve Casey. Gets back in the ring. Casey works the arm, does both an arm wringer and an arm bar. Sunset flip attempted by Casey. Casey comes out with the victory off the sunset flip in just over 5 minutes into the match. Samoan SWAT team will be respected, basically, is the promo from Buddy Roberts. Roberts basically says that he and the Samoan SWAT team have not been respected. He talks to them about getting more money. He talks to them about getting more women, talks to them about getting rid of the Von Erichs, talks to them about getting rid of Hayes and anyone associated with Michael Hayes. Samoans headbutt each other and go crazy. They are wearing partial face paint and shells around their necks, so really kind of playing up the racial stereotypes that wouldn't fly today, but at the time, 1988, they flew a great deal. Steve Simpson and Jack Victory up in a singles match next. Simpson takes over on Victory. Real basic match here. They've wrestled so much, though, that, you'd really have to see something major for anyone to get excited about the match. Obviously, that doesn't happen here. Really basic match. Victory is becoming better and better. Victory tries to get a pinfall using leverage in a headlock. Simpson, though, grinding the headlock in, stays that way for several minutes. Both guys hit a double down after a shot into the buckles for Victory. Again, they go to using the leverage from a headlock. Not quite sure why you do that at this particular point, that far in a deep blood feud. I know a lot of people say, well, every match kind of has to tell a basic story, and it does, but you'd think at this point, after months and months of going to war with each other, you'd have a little bit of a better story there. Anyway, Simpson manages to regain control, spins around in the corner, comes out, kicks his adversary, Mr. Victory, in the jaw, and, that is there. Hard shots under the chin, the attempted Irish whip, and Victory doesn't want to let go quite quickly, and Victory actually wearing no shoes, which is kind of interesting. Over the top rope into the floor, disqualification of Jack Victory, as is to be expected. But, Simpson manages to come up okay, but obviously nothing settled there. Promo by Skandor Akbar, the dominance of Kamala, the fact that he believes Kamala and his entire stable is probably one of the best in the world. He again reiterates, as he often does, that he is disrespected. His men are disrespected. He basically says that Kamala could be champion, should be champion. Makes that inference. Then we go to Jimmy Jack Funk versus Dan Fowler. Fowler, obviously a enhancement talent, just passing through. Jimmy Jack Funk wearing kind of a Lone Ranger style mask, which doesn't really make sense. Not that he hasn't before, but it's sticking out here because Fowler's a new guy. Clean cut, kind of baby face-ish, and the mask sticks out. Arm work by Funk. Funk tries to keep the match relatively slow, keep things going very basically. Snapmare by Funk, and continues to use every cheating tactic he can, raking the bootlaces across the eyes, and that a top rope fist drop, which doesn't make sense to me as a finish for Funk, but he does get the victory with it. Doesn't make sense because Jerry Lawler, who has used that for years, will soon be in the territory. Bonnie Blackstone, who eventually is the wife of Joe Pedicino. I don't think she is at this point, but certainly does become. Is interviewing the Von Erichs about the Samoan SWAT team and their main event opponents coming up next. Obviously, the SST, a big time tag team. Kevin and Kerry very clear with their ability to believably take it to the SSTs. And obviously Buddy Roberts on the outside with the SSTs. But I mean, I think they waited almost too long to go in this direction. I think the majority of fans would have wanted to see this before, but it's also a shorter territory, smaller territory. SSTs kind of waiting. Kerry Von Erich takes over on one of the Samoans early, uses the punches and the discus punch. One thing I like about the Samoans is they will only sell for bigger moves, but they will sell appropriately when necessary. Also, they know how to break the plane and bail to the outside. I wish that dives weren't such a thing in today's wrestling, because bailing to the outside to break momentum is a great heel move that I think is underutilized because everyone expects dives these days. Anyway, Kevin back in, goes to town. Normally you'd send a guy into the buckle, but because Samoan's heads are hard, actually we see Kevin actually overshoot the buckle, send his opponent into the steel post. I don't know if that's on purpose, but I will say the Samoan SWAT team does bump around tremendously well for anyone they're in the ring with when the need to bump call is called upon them. We go to the outside of the ring, brawling around the Von Erichs into the crowd and the like, which is rare at this time of history to see brawling into the crowd. Anyway, Kerry gets taken down, takes several shots. The heels are in control for a good bit of time. Distraction for Kevin. Kevin manages to get one of the Samoans in a compromising position. Kevin comes back into the ring to help Kerry, and the referee backs him off. Samoans double team for several minutes. Roberts on the outside giving advice and counsel. Slow down of the match, actually reversed choke by one of the Samoans, and then we see double Naga Knocker, really bad idea because that only lights up things. Kevin, though, hits a double drop kick on the Samoans, which does lead to a momentary momentum shift. Von Erichs are reasonably successful and dominant in the next few minutes here. But cheating and using of a weapon does lead to the Samoans defeating the Von Erichs in the middle of the ring to close the program. We'll be back to close out the month of August right after this.